Hey there YouTube, AJ here, and I guess AJ there. What you're looking at is a 3-second loop of what's left of almost an hour of footage. I got a new camera and an Insta360 camera, and I tried using it without learning how to use it, and I lost a lot of footage. And the footage that I did get is subpar. I don't know what went on, but anyway, somehow I lost almost an hour of footage, so this video is going to start right in the middle of it actually. So what we're doing here today is I have this pile of junk that I'm going to try to make something useful with and declutter my garage a little bit. So I have this orange tool post here in the middle, and I got that off Facebook Marketplace for $5. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn it into a multi-purpose tool stand that I can use lots of different tools with. So if you look around here, you'll see a rim off of, I think it was off Old International actually, but that rim, there's a Model A hub in that mess there, some square tubing, there's a grill grate, and some scrap steel, bunch of tools like a bench grinder and sander and some other things. The idea is to take all of that stuff, combine it to make something useful. Hopefully you want to stay around long enough to see what I do. Well, I screwed up the tip on my plasma cutter, and I didn't have a spare. So we had to make do and continue without it because I don't have time to wait right now. I went ahead and I used a cutoff wheel grinder to cut out the square in the middle here, which now goes over that. The idea is we will take this wheel, drop it over that, where's the lug nuts go? There's another one. Okay, there's one over there. Lug nuts. Now we need to tighten those down to hold that into place. Alright, well, now we've got the hub tightened into the wheel. This still goes up and down, but we're going to eliminate that because now we're going to take and weld that hub to this pole, and that should make everything good and solid. Put a mark on that. Ooh, yuck. Look at the way that paint is just melting and just becoming goo in there. I don't think it'll stand up to that one though. Whew, that was some thick goopy paint, man. I'm gonna have to do some gap jumping. We're gonna have to weld it from both sides because of that, but we'll make do. Whoa, not the mask. Alright, since I lost about an hour of footage trying to use a new camera without reading the instructions, I kind of screwed up. So I don't know if this will ever make it to a video or not, but in case it does, let me catch up on what I've done so far. I took this tool caddy post that's made to hold air tools that I got off Facebook Marketplace for like $5, and I'm making it into a multi-purpose tool stand. Now I'm also making this where I can take it apart to make it easier to store if I don't need it out. But to be honest, I don't know if I ever will take it apart, but I'm making it that way. To do that, I took this, I needed to make it more stable. So I took this Model A hub using my Cinder plasma cutter and an angle grinder. I cut off the round part of the hub and cut a square into the center of the hub so it would slide down over the pole, and then that's going to give me a place to mount my steel wheel. That will be the support base of this thing. I can always take it off and be able to knock this thing down for storage later, because I'm just going to keep the steel wheel attached with lug nuts. Now, I also took and cut out a piece of 1/4 inch plate in a mostly round fashion. That's going to go on top of this. So we're going to attach that and weld it now, and we're doing that for multiple reasons. I'll tell you after I get this on. Okay, so this round plate on top of here is for 2 reasons. And it's cut round so that my wheel will still go over it. But I also, this post used to originally had 2 tabs that stuck off of it, and you could either hang stuff from those tabs, or you could bolt arms to it, you could bolt things to it. And I kind of like that functionality, so the idea is I'm going to do that same thing on each side of this plate on this post. I'm going to drill a hole, and I'm going to tap it for a 1/4 inch 20 bolt. That way I can either hang things here, or if I need to bolt something to it, I can. So we're going to go ahead and do all that. Well, I screwed that up immediately. I broke my drill bit off in here. Ha, got it. All right, well that's one hole. And that's just the pilot. And I don't know if I have another drill bit I can use for a pilot bit. So, my wife got us a couple of kittens, and I keep a roll of shop towels in our laundry room that they decided to unspool and shred. So, yeah. Oh, try to salvage some of them. Alright, so we got these holes drilled in here. We're going to throw a tap through all of them real quick to make them 1/4 20 threaded. Now I know you've probably seen other YouTubers just stick their tap in a drill and just straight into here. I don't like that method for a multitude of reasons. One, to cut good threads, you're supposed to cut a little bit and back it off to break the chips. And that helps prevent you from breaking your tap as well. And 2, when you just take a drill and go, you have no control, and it is, in my opinion, a really easy way to break a tap off in a hole. And if you've ever had to drill a tap out of a hole, these are hardened steel, and it is a bear. So it's not something you ever want to deal with if you can avoid it. So I just totally avoid the power drill method of tapping a hole. Other people seem to have really good luck with it, but not me. Things tend to go wrong more often than not on my end. So I just prefer to take my time and do it by hand. And that way I don't have to worry about trying to extricate a broken tap from a hole. That's drilled and tapped like so. I may never use those holes. I may use them a ton, I don't know, but they're there if I need them. And the reason I had to go ahead and put them in now versus later is because of what I'm going to put on top of here. And that's this guy. So you can imagine if I went ahead and welded this on here and tried to drill and tap this, you know, against this here or the pole down here, it'd be darn near impossible. So yeah, I had to get that done now. So the second reason I'm added this plate on top here is to give this whole structure more strength, because I'm going to be welding this receiver on there, and this will be the basis for my interchangeability of tool bases and things like that. And because one of the things I plan to put on interchangeable base is a chunk of heavy steel like this, but it's going to be shaped to where I can use it to bend metal around. So if I'm going to be hammering and beating on this thing, having this flat plate versus just having this welded directly to that tube, this adds a layer of strength in there and resistance to where this whole thing will be able to be hammered on. It'll be a lot more sturdy, a lot less chance of bending or crushing this tubing down here. So that's what we're going to do next, is weld this on. I'll take our bolt out of there, and I want to get some tape because I do not want weld to go down in these holes. Okay, well, sorry about the darkness over here, but I'm trying to stay in the shade. It's almost 100 degrees out, and I'm trying to stay a little cooler. But we got the tool post, the basics of it fabbed up, painted nicely. Yeah, there's runs. I don't care. I just wanted it one color. Anyway, looking good. Now what we're going to do is start adding some convenience things. The first one I'm going to add, fortunately there's a hole right where I want it, and that's the wrong size. All right, now with the correct size, what we're adding here are these magnetic tool holders from Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight used to give these away all the time, and I've got a ton of them in my garage and just all kinds of different places where I can hang tools up really fast. I don't use them like to organize my wrenches or anything, but like little tools that get lost, I like to hang them up on there. The chuck key for my drill, I got all my chuck keys on one of these things in there because those things get lost all the time. So it's really handy to have. So on my tool post, I'm going to put one on each side of it here, and that way I'll have a quick place just to hang stuff that I'm working with, so I won't lose them or drop them, or I'll be able to get to them real quick and easy. So let's get this thing mounted, and all I'm doing to mount this is using self-tapping screws. Just kind of eyeballing it to the center. Now the downside to these things is anytime you're cutting or grinding up here, that metal dust and shavings are all going to stick to this. But you know, sacrifice for some things. All right, let's get one on the other side. If you're working on something up here and you have like different size sockets you need to be using, you can keep those quick and handy close by. So I just like having these things around, and having them right here on the post I'm working on will be perfect. Now the next thing I'm always going to need around this is power. And I'm probably going to be using multiple tools that all need power. And you know, if you drag out an extension cord and you have to unplug and plug things in and out, it gets to be a pain in the butt, right? So we're going to take extension power strip outlet. This one has 6 outlets on it, so I can have a grinder, a couple different kinds of grinders, one with a cutting wheel, one with a flap disc, wire wheel. Have that all handy and plugged in so I can just swap tools really fast, and have this only plugged in by one piece here. And this particular one I'm using, it is got 15 foot of cord on it, so it can be pretty far away from your source that you need, which I like because I'm all the time working over there in my corner of my driveway or in the grass, and I just drag one power cord out around to the edge there, plug this in, and I got power for multiple tools. So let's mount this. Probably gonna mount this right here because I have plans for these holes. I don't want to block that. So we're gonna just put that right there. Little X marks the spot. And we gotta find some screws that'll fit into these T-slots. Alright, so now we got a tool holder in place. We got stuff we can hang there like that as we're working. We have this power strip in here. I like this power strip that I bought specifically for this because the cord, like I said, it's 15 foot long, so that gives me some distance to use this thing. And has an on-off switch, but it has a feature to wrap the cord up around it, and with a little clip on the cord plug, so it keeps it all nice and tidy while you're not using it. So the tool post is done, really. I mean, that's the main function of it. So as of right now, I only have the one accessory piece made, and that's this grate that I'm going to be using as a welding table. I can bolt this down if need be, so to make everything more rigid, so this piece doesn't move as much or at all. And then of course it needs to be on a flat surface to really be a stable base. So we got this one piece here, so we need to make some other pieces. So with that in mind, I went ahead and cut up some more 2-inch bar and drilled holes in them for the locking pin to go through. So these are all ready to go. Drop that one in, and for this one I want it to be lower, so I just cut it right at the edge. And then what I did, which was part of the footage I lost, was I cut out this piece here. This is like 1/2-inch steel, and I cut it in this shape because what I want to use it for is kind of an anvil table where I can bend metal over this edge. I got different size radiuses here on all these corners, and then one inside radius here, and so I can go the other way with it. But anyway, that's just a little working table to hammer on metal and shape it. I could put a small sandbag on here as well and use it to shape metal. I don't know if this will be my only one of these I make, but that's the first one I'm going to make. So I have to weld this up to that. Which this goes in, yep, other way. Then I got another one. I've got this plate that's just kind of rough cut out. It's not dressed yet. But my bench grinder will go on that, and I'll be able to swap in and out. I really hate being down low. Even working off of my workmate table, it's too low for me because I'm like always hunched up and it hurts my back. So having this up this high where I can use it is going to be a godsend for me. I'm just sick and tired of working down on the ground, and I wanted to be able to elevate tools as I need them. So we gotta weld this together and drill those holes. I have another plate roughed out so far, and I've already drilled the holes in it. That one's gonna go like that, and then my sander grinder will go on that one, and I'll be able to do the same thing, work off of this. I'm not going to show me welding all these together. You get the basic idea. I do want to get another piece of 1/2 inch, and it doesn't have to be very big, but when I get that piece of 1/2 inch, I will have a plate to mount my vise on as well. So that's what this whole tool post idea is about. And I will go ahead and make up these pieces and parts and finish it off, but you get the gist of what I'm doing. Hopefully you do. And to be honest, I made this one first so I could use it to weld the other pieces together. So that's what we're going to be doing next. I'm not going to show you that, like I said. It's just kind of more of the same. Sorry that chunks of this video got lost. Two things: working with a new camera, trying to figure that out. Still don't have it figured out yet. And then two, my GoPro. The reason I have a new camera is my GoPro is in this heat just doesn't last. It keeps crashing, losing footage. So I had to try to get something else. Hopefully we'll get that all figured out soon. But until then, YouTube, later.